FireStillPro.com. Today's subject is the best boxing gloves that you can buy between the price of £50 to £100. Almost every manufacturer nowadays has gloves in this price bracket, so this is by far and away the most popular price bandwidth. Anything under £50 is pretty much in the budget range, anything over £100 is getting into the top end premium range, so almost everybody have products in this bracket. So we're going to look at four gloves that we sell here at FireStill Pro that we think represent the very best value for money that you can possibly get in that price bracket. We've got everything from the low end with the Danger equipment here at £65 to the top end with Fairtex, which sit exactly on 100. We're going to give you the pros and cons of all of them, and then the choice is yours. So we're going to start now. We're going to just go from one end to the other and take each glove in turn. Some of these gloves we've already touched on in previous videos, but this is a particular subject, so I thought it was appropriate to bring some of the favourites back in. This one is the Danger equipment, or DE, Thai boxing glove. It's called a D Max, I think. It is a Thai boxer's glove. It sits at the £65 price bracket. Now, the only reason that this one beat the twins into this review is the price. The twins and this glove are in many ways nigh on identical. I think in a previous video we saw that we preferred the palm on this video. The leather seemed a little bit nicer, but overall it's a wash. The twins come out in lots and lots of different varieties, so they could quite easily have sat in this review sitting with this place. And if you're looking at twins, it's an excellent glove to choose. The twins sit between 75 and 85. This one's 65, that's why I've made it. Okay, so we've got a good wrist strap. It's a short wrist strap, more common in the Thai boxing glove. Good for when you're wanting to do the plum. This one's a little stiff, but it'll break in. Yeah, we have one piece of leather over the top, so there's no split over the thumb, which doesn't usually cause a problem, but it's worth mentioning. We have a grip bar and this mesh lining to help the glove dry out after training. Now, I'm not a big fan of mesh palm when they do a big full palm of mesh, because I believe it weakens the structure of the glove and doesn't bring that much to the party. However, the way Danger equipment have done it here, with full leather right the way to the seam, as you can possibly see on the seam here, and then a small mesh compartment here, I think is the best of both worlds. So I think it's a good innovation. It's got a very neat little crossover for the wrist, and when you get this glove on, it's a tight fit glove, but one of the criticisms we often have of some of the Thai boxing gloves is the inability to make a proper fist, and it leaves you with a very open palm. This is great for blocking kicks, blocking elbows. However, sometimes it leaves a little bit to be desired on the actual punching surface. The fingers are a little bit forward here, which is, a particular characteristic of a lot of Muay Thai based gloves, but the knuckles have got good protection, and it's not a bad hand position. It's not the best. Thumb's in a decent position. It's attached to the main glove to stop the thumb flying back. That's a feature on most gloves nowadays. We've got decent clearance between the hand and the wrist, and overall at £65, if you're buying for kickboxing, this represents just excellent value for money. So well worth the consideration. Yeah, I've sold a couple of hundred of these by now. We've had exactly one pair back in that time, and that was with cosmetic damage, so we believe that these are going to hold up pretty well. So we'll move on. Now I'm going to pick out another glove which is in exactly the same price bracket. Now this glove, we were about to actually scrap ProBox's soft goods from the website altogether. Not because they're bad, they're actually very good, but they've just been superseded by some other brands bringing some more modern products in. And then they brought out this little beauty. This is one of the best boxing gloves we've ever seen at £65. It's very similar In fact, I struggle to see any difference at all to another glove in the boxing gloves market, which is actually £110. So this is £45 cheaper, but is nigh on identical. On the glove fits, it's quite a slim glove. The profile's pretty good on it. With a hand on, my hand's in a perfect position. The knuckles, I've got good padding and it's comfortable inside. We've got a vented palm here, just a split on the palm to allow the hand to breathe. And the hand's in a good position, that's where my wrist is right there, which if you look on the back, they've got that position pretty much spot on. Yeah? The wrist strap on it's good. And when I close my fist, it feels pretty good. When I push this back, you can feel that the knuckle is pretty much straight. This is overall probably the best glove we've ever seen at £65 for the boxing market. So, ProBox Pro Spar, I believe it's called. It's full leather. It's got the dinky split in the thumb, which looks cool. We certainly haven't seen any of these come back with any problems in the thumb, so I've got no reason to believe that there'll be any kind of issue with that. Comes in 3 colours. I think if they bring it out in a few more colours, it'll become even more popular. This is one of the most popular gloves we sell in the store, and not necessarily online, but definitely worth a look. And if you're in that under £100 price bracket, or you want to stay at the low end of it, this is an excellent choice, the ProBox Pro Spar. Okay, we're going to bring in one that's just come out, and I've purposely brought out a couple of colours here. This is the RevGear S3. It comes in at $79.99. Now this glove is different to a lot of gloves because it's not derivative from any other glove. It's certainly its own design. It's a lovely slim profile. Comes in a range of colours. I brought this one out just to show the different colours on this. There is a difference in the print between the left and the right glove, which is again why I brought out 2 rather than 1, which is quite a funky design, and it looks kind of cool. You're either going to like that or you don't, but we certainly do. But where this really comes in is when you start getting the thing. This is a 16, and it's quite a small glove for a 16, but it comes back beautifully on the wrist, and it has a pad all the way along the top here and all the way along the bottom here, which protects the small bones in the wrist, but also when you bring the wrist strap over, it helps cinch it right up, and when you put it on, you can feel straight away that this locks into your wrist. This is giving probably the best wrist support I've seen in any glove for some time, if not ever. We have probably 3 inches, maybe 3 inches on the strap, and possibly as much as 4 and a bit inches on the whole wrist. The palm position, that's where my hand starts here. That is absolutely spot on. It's absolutely perfect. I haven't got particularly big hands or particularly small hands. I'm probably pretty average. The thumb sits perfectly behind the fingers here. You can see where the additional padding is here to protect the top of the thumb, but the knuckle position is absolutely perfect. RevGear make these with a combination of gel injection mould and multi-foam layered padding, and they're tested to 1,000 rounds, which is quite a feat, I think. Look at the profile. Look at the profile on the fist. It's absolutely flat when you close your fist, and I'm making a perfect fist inside. This is singularly one of the best gloves we've ever seen come through the store. At $79.99, it's representing incredible value for money. I've seen gloves kicking around the £150 mark, which aren't even coming close to this. So, the S3, $79.99 from RevGear in America. Well worth a look. 4 colours and more to come. Difficult to find a minus point on it, but all around excellent boxing gloves. So we'll move this across. And lastly, because we missed it out of the last review, is the Fairtex BGV9. Now, Fairtex are famous for their BGV1, which is a tight fit, small, compact little Thai glove. It's in the review that we did with the Muay Thai gloves with Juan Cervantes. This was Fairtex's answer for the boxing market as opposed to the Muay Thai market. Now, similar to the S3, it's got a very, very long wrist strap, but this is actually longer than the S3s. One of the criticisms that I'd make here, I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'3". This is halfway back, in fact over halfway back on my forearm. So it's beginning to come away from giving me support and just beginning to like kill my movement. It has the pad on both sides, like the S3 does, slightly less pronounced. The wrist strap comes over. It does, I think because it's further back on the wrist, it's not doing the same job. I can't tell whether that's my physiology or whether that's the glove. But if you look on where the strap comes, the strap's coming from the centre of the glove, unlike the S3, which comes from the back of the glove. So if you see, when the S3 strap comes over, it comes over both pads there. The BGV9, they've taken the strap and put it into the centre of the glove. This just somehow just doesn't make sense to me. I would have taken the strap and brought it from over here so that it locks in both sides of the glove. This comes over and locks in over the top. I just don't get where the sense in this was. I don't get what they were trying to do with that. But certainly the S3 seems like a much more secure glove and brings in the wrist much better. On, the punching position's not bad, but there's a lot of room at the end of the glove. Again, I've got medium-sized hands, but I've got at least 1.5 centimeters worth of give here. It's a good attempt. It's a good attempt. The leather quality is brilliant. It looks nice. It's got a thumb join here, which, unlike some of the others, it kind of cuts through. Not sure how that's going to hold up, but we could give it a go. I've got a lot of room at the end of my fingers, and there's something inside here where I'm just kind of grabbing it on the end. Overall, I think this is the most expensive glove of the bunch. It's £100. It's a good glove. It's certainly not terrible. There's give in the padding. The padding's not fantastic at the front. I think they need to take this one back to the drawing board and have a good look at it. The BGV1 is a phenomenal glove, certainly for that marketplace. This was built to compete with Reyes and people like that. I think they need a little bit more work before it's going to do that. I've got a lot of give in the thumb as well here. Yeah, my thumb's there. It's not in as good a position. I've got at least another thumb's worth of space on the side. So I think it's a good attempt. It's a smart looking piece of kit. It's well made. You can't fault it on its actual build quality, but I think a lot of things about the fit of the glove are questionable, and I think they need to just do some little tweaks on this and it'll come back being an excellent glove. So, just in summary, you've got to give top marks in a lot of ways to the ProBox Pro Spar. For £65, you're going to struggle to find certainly anything at £65 for this quality. As I said, there's a glove which is almost identical to it, which actually weighs in at £110, and the only difference that I can actually see are the colour range on it. It's this, if you've only got £65 to spend, buy this glove. It's top draw. The S3, we've been waiting for this for a long time. We're not disappointed. Everything about it screams quality, but the best thing about it is the innovation and the fit. I think a lot of guys who are boxing or kickboxing, when they try this glove, will never turn back. This really weighs in against gloves which are getting on for 1.5 to 2 times its price. Try it and see. If you can afford £80, go for this glove. If you need a Muay Thai glove, as I say, I think you'd probably be best off looking at our review of all the actual Muay Thai gloves on a previous video, but at £65 this is pretty hard to beat. The design is very different to the other three, so it's worth noting the difference in the wrist cuff, the difference in the fit and the padding on the back of the hand. All Thai gloves tend to have this change in their mechanism, in the way that you hold your hand. So it's worth, if you're kind of a Western kickboxer, you're doing K1 style kickboxing, or something that's not boxing but it's not Muay Thai, then you might want to take a look at one of these three and this style glove and see which one suits your style best, because there's a lot of different styles within that style. So we think £65 for this is a bargain, but still the choice is yours. Hope you've enjoyed this video and we'll see you next time.